Whenever we talk about moving abroad or relocation, most people focus on the logistics, the visa, the job, the housing, but no one really prepares us for the emotional impact of starting over. When you are relocating to a new place, you're not just moving physically, you're also moving through layers of grief, loneliness, identity shifts, and culture shock. In this video, I'm gonna share with you 3 invisible struggles every expat faces and how to cope with them. The first one is the loss of connection. When I moved from Hong Kong to Vancouver 8 years ago, I didn't know a single person in that city. But when I was in Hong Kong, I already started building my network. My friends in Hong Kong introduced me to their friends in Vancouver. But after meeting those people, I still felt quite lonely. Those people were very nice and friendly, but the conversation stayed at the surface. It didn't feel meaningful. I remember I kept asking myself, why do I still feel so lonely when I'm around with other people? That's when I realized that loneliness comes in 2 forms. We have the social loneliness and the emotional loneliness. So the social loneliness is most expats experience right away after a move. It's about missing a network, friends, coworkers, neighbors you can casually connect with. Maybe it looks like you don't have anyone you can call to grab dinner with. There is no one you can call to go for a walk on a Sunday afternoon. You just miss those casual conversations on spontaneous plans. And then we have the emotional loneliness that runs a lot deeper. It's about missing those deep, meaningful emotional connection. You can have a social circle, new friends, coworkers to chat with, but still feel emotionally lonely. Because what you're missing is not just company, you're missing connection. It's the kind of bond where people see you, accept you, understand you without you explaining anything. So often when we experience loneliness, most of the society will say if you're lonely, you just need to be more social, meet more friends. That helps ease the social loneliness, but it doesn't help with the emotional loneliness. The emotional loneliness only softens when you begin to connect with yourself, establish that sense of safety to open up, and have the discernment to say who you can trust and who you cannot. When I realized I was experiencing emotional loneliness, I stopped chasing people just to avoid being alone. Instead, I come home to myself. I decided to just sit in silence with myself, meeting those parts of me that felt isolated and disconnected, meeting them with my love and presence. And slowly, I felt this deep inner peace within me. And after a few days, I went to a meetup group. I was not looking to meet anyone. I was simply just curious about what that event was about. And I never thought I would meet the best friends in my life at that meetup group who have changed my life forever. So this is what happens. Friendship happens on the way to something else. The more you aim for friendship, the more it eludes you. But if you aim to learn something with other people, friendship happens naturally on the way through the shared interests. Bad things happen when you least expect it. The second challenge most expats face is the grief for what you left behind. A lot of people call this homesickness, but it's actually grief. When you move to a new place, you're leaving behind your family, friends, your old routines, and sometimes you just miss those simple things. Maybe it's your local favorite food. Maybe it's the feeling of walking through your old neighborhood where you knew exactly everything was, and you didn't realize how much those little things meant to you until you left. And sometimes what you miss is not just a place or a person, it's a moment in time that can never be recreated. Maybe you've left home for a few years, and the next time you go back, you feel like you're a stranger at a familiar place. There are some moments and relationships that cannot be recreated. It's the kind of realization that even if you go back, nothing will be the same. Places change, people change, you change. And so often when we experience this grief, we don't show that side of ourselves. We try to put on this happy face. We try to stay positive. I remember when I moved to Vancouver, locals would ask me, why did you come here? I just tried to pretend everything was fine. I moved there for adventure. I wanted to try a new lifestyle. But behind closed doors, I was grieving for all of those losses I had. I was crying for hours every day at home until one day I met a friend who opened up space for me to share my stories. And after hearing my experiences, she was not giving me any advice. She didn't try to fix my problem. She simply just responded, "That was so sad." And that was the first time someone named and validated my emotions. And that was the moment my heart melted. That made me realize that learning to name your emotion, acknowledge your emotion, holding space for emotion is the foundation for building a home within. Grief is one of the greatest teacher. It reminds you to offer yourself that compassion. Compassion is a beautiful motel for healing. When you meet that grief with your love, your presence, your compassion, you will begin to soften. You will find the peace to live fully in this moment, and you will also have the courage to let go and move forward with hope. The third struggle is the identity shifts. Relocation really shakes up everything that used to define you. Without your job titles, old social identities, your old routines, it makes you question yourself, who I really am, what am I doing here? It can feel like you've lost your confidence or your sense of direction. And as you're adapting to this new culture, you're being exposed to new ideas, new way of being. And then you will be in this in-between space. You're no longer connected to the place you come from, but you also haven't found this true sense of belonging in this new place yet. Carl Jung speaks of the sacred pause. It's this in-between space between who you were and who you are becoming. And oftentimes when we are in this space, we can feel like we're lost, we're stuck, we're empty. But this space is actually not empty. It's the necessary silence for your soul to speak its truth. This is a space for self-reflection without the influence from your old cultural conditioning, regardless of other people's opinions and society's expectations. It makes you wonder who I truly am. And this is an opportunity for you to redefine your identity based on your essence, not those external labels. It's also an invitation for you to redefine success and fulfillment. When I was in Hong Kong, the society there prioritized on career success, ambition, material wealth. But after I moved to Vancouver, I realized people there really value their community, relationship, love, compassion. And that in many ways it softens me and balances me out. So every relocation is an opportunity for you to discover who you truly are and become the person you're meant to be.